Republican senators attempted to grill Stacey Abrams over her comments about Georgia's voter suppression law. Now, she has called it racist because there are provisions in that law that are specifically meant to prevent black voters from voting. It's that simple. And so during one part of this testimony, you have Senator John Kennedy jump in and just assume, I wonder why, just assume that Stacey Abrams doesn't have the ammo necessary to back up why she believes that this suppression law is racist. But poor Senator Kennedy, he was wrong. Let's take a look at the first clip.
Tell me specifically, just give me a list of the provisions that you object to.
I object to the provisions that remove access to the right to vote, that shorten the federal runoff period from 9 weeks to 4 weeks, that restrict the time that a voter can request and return an absentee ballot application, that eliminate.
Slow down for me, because our audio is not real good here.
Certainly.
Could you start over for me?
No, the audio was perfectly fine. That was the clearest audio I've heard in a long time when someone's remote. But Nando, I don't know, maybe I'm being unfair to Senator Kennedy. Maybe I just have superior hearing skills. What do you think?
Well, that's not outside of the realm of possibility, but also just, I just love the, I love his attitude. Just the, well, I'm sorry, Stacey Abrams, I can't hear you right now because you're making a lot of sense when I'm hearing you from the thing. Yeah, no, it's great. You gotta love him. Obviously Senator Kennedy is just an evil Republican, but he did defend Bernie Sanders against Neera Tanden. So he'll always get, a little bit of points in my book because of that, because that was a brave moment on the Senate floor. But yeah, this is pretty embarrassing.
It is pretty embarrassing. And we have more clips that we'll get to in just a second, but I have to respond to what you said about Senator Kennedy defending Bernie Sanders. It wasn't so much about defending Senator Sanders. It was more about the fact that he didn't like that Neera Tanden also went after Republicans like him, right? Everything's always about self-interest. But I will admit that was a wonderful moment when he alleged that Neera Tanden had called Bernie Sanders, what was it, an ignorant slut?
Ignorant slut. You know what it was, Anna? It was bros before hoes. Just Senator Kennedy just doing the old bros before hoes. That's what, guys like us, that's what we respond to. So
he's a cartoon character. It's like,
yes,
you watch him in any context, and he's like the most shocking thing for me is that he's a real person. But you're about to get more of that real person in this next clip. Take a look.
It shortens the federal runoff period from 9 weeks to 4 weeks.
Okay.
It restricts the time a voter can request and return an absentee ballot application.
Right.
It requires that a voter have a photo identification or some other form of identification that they're willing to surrender in order to participate in the absentee ballot process.
If I can stop you, that's where they're going to not comparing signatures, but to voter ID.
Yes, sir. And as Ms. Eifels pointed out, we would become only the 4th state in the nation to require voters to put at risk their identity.
What else? What else?
It eliminates over 300 hours of Dropbox availability.
Okay. What else?
It bans nearly all out of precinct votes.
Bans what? I'm sorry.
It bans nearly all out of precinct votes.
Okay.
Meaning that if you get to a precinct and you are in line for 4 hours and you get to the end of the line and you are not there between 5 and 7 p.m.
Okay.
What else? You have to start all over again.
Okay. What else? I mean, you're still talking, you're still listing the provisions, but I need to interrupt you because I'm really embarrassed right now. What else? What else, Nando? What else?
I've never seen you do an impression, and honestly, that's a pretty good one. This is the first time I've ever heard you do like a voice.
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at. I'm not that great with Trump. I'm good with a few, so I guess I'm good with Kennedy. I didn't know that, but I do a pretty mean Meghan McCain.
Oh,
yeah.
I would love to hear that.
We should we should definitely support our troops. I think that, did you know that John McCain was my father, okay? And it's really difficult to be the only conservative on this panel, okay? It's tough, I feel lonely, everyone's against me. And my father was John McCain. My father was John McCain, okay? Yeah.
Oh, that was perfect. That made my day. That was great. You actually capture that, like, just that desperate energy. I don't know. It's perfect. It's great.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's great to. It's always funny to see these like hearings with the Senate, because you realize that the sort of most powerful people on the planet, the people who rule over our lives in every meaningful way, are all just kind of the dumbest, oldest, just so you wouldn't trust this guy with the remote.
Yeah.
Control to like change the channel on the television, or like, imagine him trying to work a blender, and he might cut his finger off. Instead, he's making decisions over major policies that affect hundreds of millions, if not billions, of people around the world. So yeah, it's always feels good to see the inside of the Senate.
Yeah, and you're onto something there, because it's not just noticeable with Senator Kennedy. It's noticeable with so many members of Congress who don't really seem to know anything about the very legislation that they're against, they're vehemently against. So in the case of this voter suppression bill, or law at this point in Georgia, first of all, he clearly underestimated Stacey Abrams. He thought this was gonna be a gotcha moment, and he failed miserably in trying to get her. Clearly, she's very well informed about what that law entails. But also, it was just very clear to me, based on his interaction with her, that he doesn't even know himself. Like, he has no idea. He just knows, hey, I gotta toe the party line, and the party line is we're supportive of this law in Georgia. And to be clear, they are supportive of it because it games the system in their favor, in the Republicans' favor in that particular state. And we're seeing similar efforts in places like Texas, where the electorate is slowly transitioning to Democratic voters. So they don't like that, and they would rather, rig the system to their advantage, as opposed to maybe take a good hard look at your platform and try to understand why it is that your ideas, or lack of ideas, tend to be incredibly unpopular with the electorate. But we're not even done. We have one more video, and this might be my favorite.
Is that everything?
No, it is not. No, sir. It restricts the hours of operation, because it now, under the guise of setting a standardized timeline, it makes it optional for counties that may not want to see expanded access to the right to vote. They can now limit their hours. Instead of those hours being from 7 to 7, they're now from 9 to 5, which may have an effect on voters who cannot vote during business hours, during early voting. It limits the
Okay, I get the idea. I get the idea.
I get the idea. Please stop. Please stop. I'm very embarrassed. I thought I was gonna get you, but God damn it, you got me. Please stop.
Well, what you were saying in the previous, like right before this clip, made me think of what's going on in the Republican Party is something that's a relatively new phenomenon, in that it used to be that the leaders of the Republican Party were all they all knew what really was going on, and they all read the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times and things like that, and they knew what was going on, but they were just evil. And then they created this kind of alternative media system to feed essentially fake information and propaganda to the rubes, but they always knew that they were rubes, and it was all purely cynical. Now, all of the leaders in the Republican Party are themselves consuming that alternative media ecosystem that they created in order to sell unpopular policies to regular people, and they just completely completely lose the plot. So that when they're confronted with reality, it catches them completely off guard. So I'm sure Senator Kennedy was reading in the daily right to be an American.com site that this Georgia law was something that was going to bring in Sharia law while they forced you to do a trans sex change before you went to the poll, and that's what the opposition to the Georgia law was. So when he's like, well, I'm just going to talk to this person about it, and I'm sure we're going to straighten this out as soon as she's going to crumble as soon as I point out all this bad stuff with it. So yeah, it's just the inmates are running the asylum in the Republican Party.
Yes.
And they because they're consuming just the same crap that they sold to the regular people for decades.
God damn it! I mean, I listen to the Rubin Report every day. I thought I was informed. What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
Turns out I didn't know about all the provisions in this damn law. Anyway, so that was a wonderful moment, and don't underestimate people. Look, it's part of the reason why I love doing those debate panels on CNN. Because whether I'm debating someone who's like a political operative, a former politician, like none of them actually read anything. It's amazing how easy it is to debunk whatever it is that they're saying. It was so much fun. I wish they would invite me again. Like, I'll talk about anything. I don't care what the topic is. Just have me debate anyone on Cuomo's show, on any CNN show. It's just so much fun. And also depressing when you realize just how little people in positions of power really know about what's happening in this country and around the world. So
thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.